This is my presentation for the board on how we're doing on our social media. So the goals from the CMO were to spend the budget wisely, and not only that, but to use it wisely. So 25% of it was supposed to go towards the content, and 75% was to go to promoting. And in doing this, we're supposed to use the budget to mostly do brand awareness and to increase the sales by at least 10% during this time period. We also had the goal to outperform our peers on the simulation that we were doing, and we were basing off of this, off of how much revenue we made in total. Some goals that we had for this social media marketing is to target the audience effectively in order to increase the brand awareness, to grow it, to get more followers, shares, likes, that kind of thing. And we were also, one of our goals was to take what our competitor had done, see their mistakes and their successes, and learn from them and to apply them to. And we also want to meet all the goals that the CMO has set for us and to use our brand to interact with customers. And with this, using the brand to interact with customers, we need the content to engage followers, to create more engagements and conversions, which of course will help get all the other goals as well. So in order to do this, we had to come up with a marketing plan, because without it, it's kind of pointless. So in order to do this, we're going to use content to engage followers, which goes into the conversation, conversions and engagements and that kind of thing. We're going to use each platform effectively. So each platform has its own strengths and weaknesses. So we want to play off those strengths that each individual one has. And with this, I made sure that we posted at appropriate times. Like Facebook, a good time to post is around 11 or noon or 1. And with this, we try to vary the content to keep it interesting, because people don't want to just see ads in their feed all the time. They want to see like content and helpful things, especially with the voice that we're going for. And so we were able to use this content to grow the brand voice, to make it something that our users and customers would be able to relate to. And we made sure that not all the posts would be promotional. The strategy that I used for the simulation kind of varied by the platform, but I made sure that I varied the times based on the platform that was being used. Some of the platforms you could post around similar times, which is handy. And the content that I used for each platform definitely varied. Like for Pinterest, I posted more how-to tutorials, and Instagram is more like the photography interesting advantage. And whenever we did this, our voice was encouraging, adventurous, helpful, like you're talking to a friend. And with this, we made to add in calls to action to get people to interact more with the posts, and so that more people would see it. And while we did this in our holiday post, we also posted appropriately for those, so that we could use the holiday seasons to our advantage. The kind of content that worked, as we saw, were mostly outdoorsy kind of images, videos, holiday ads, and this was really helpful, especially for Instagram, because we were able to see with the good content pictures we were showing, it enabled people to more interact with what we were showing them, and the content worked really well on there. Another thing that we noticed is just the product by itself, without many distractions, was also pretty effective, and that the people with the products and using it was also very effective. Another thing that worked was sales. If we posted something about a sale, we almost always got more revenue increasing from the sales than from a lot of other posts. Another thing is we made sure to include calls to action. The content with calls to action worked the best. When doing these posts, we tried to sound active to get people to act upon them. And another thing with this, to get people to act upon them, we asked people to comment below what they had to say in order to keep the engagements up, keep talking to each other, and convince them to go over to our website, see different things. The channels that I used all the channels, and I targeted specific channels with specific kinds of content content, like I was talking about earlier. Like Pinterest was more how-to tutorials, and then Instagram was more of the kind of like cool pictures and things, and Twitter was more like customer service kind of help. Out of all the channels, Instagram definitely performed the best by far. It did exceptionally well with our target demographic. So with the crisis from Taylor Swift, where she had found that note in her bag, what we did was we reacted to the crisis as soon as possible. We were transparent. We let the customers know that we were apologetic about it and that we were going to do something about it and keep them updated, which is a huge thing. So it makes us sound more active care, and we took a more direct approach with it. With this, we were able to turn it around just using the social media channels, so it died out just fine. We did well with it. So the simulation progress earned about 1,152,000 in total. You can see the engagements, impressions, all those went up quite a lot. And our click through rate was actually pretty high, and the cost per click was low. We got over 200,000 new followers and over 1 million total shares. So that's how much our content is being spread and all these different things. With the content and things, there's also the budget usage that we have. The budget, the goal was to use most or all each week, which we ended up doing pretty well with. We spent about 4,000 each week. These were the priciest, but they did quite well. And we spent about 50,000 during the entire simulation. And that is all I have. I hope you guys have a wonderful time, and thank you for watching.